Hi, it is absolutely fantastic to be here, connect with you all today. I'm so super grateful that Zanzino invited me again 3 times now to share the greatest gift that I have, the goal mapping system. This special way of setting goals in so powerful connection to your brain that it really maximizes your opportunity to achieve them and you live your best life. I've been traveling around the world for 27 years, sharing this ancient special way of setting goals. I've spoken in more than 30 countries and to hundreds of thousands of people, and I say hand on heart today that it is just amazing to be here with you and to share this information into the Zanzino community. I first presented for Zanzino in 2016, and then I was invited again the next year to present in 2017. And I've been so wowed by the amazing products and the incredible people I've met within the network. And of course, the great opportunity that Zanzino offers to the world. If you've been in one of my presentations before, then maybe you remember that one of the key points in my presentation is that we are living in a rapidly changing world, and the world is changing faster and faster. Now, I've been saying this in my presentations for many years because for many years, the pace of change has been increasing. And the reason for it is technology. It is estimated that mankind's entire knowledge has doubled in the last 50 years, and it will double again in the next 15 years. And every time something new is invented, it creates change. Changes in the way that we work, changes in the way that we shop with online shopping, changes in the way that we're educated with distance learning. Of course, changes in the way that we are living our lives and connecting, like here today. Whenever you're in a lot of change, and this year has seen some of the biggest changes of all, it's really important to remember that change always creates opportunity. The only way we can have something new, something more, something different is if there is change. There are going to be some fantastic opportunities for Zanzino people now and in the coming years. So many people will see their careers changing, the whole industry changing, and new industries becoming stronger. The challenge is that many people around the world fear uncertain change. And I'm emphasizing the uncertain. If we feel sure that the change is coming and good for us, then we greet them with open arms. But if we are fearful of the change, then our mind closes down and we see more of what we perceive to be the problem, rather than seeing the opportunity that's been created by the change. The challenge is many people around the world are in fear of uncertain change. I'm emphasizing the uncertain because if we feel the change is coming or good for us, then we greet the change openly. But if we are in fear about the change, then our brain closes down and it focuses on the object of our fear, which looks bigger and bigger and bigger. And rather than spotting the opportunity created by the change, we just see what we're afraid of. Sometimes we can see the opportunity, but we're too afraid to step forward and take the opportunity. Imagine that you're like a sailing boat upon the ocean, and that change is like the wind that blows. As you're making your voyage towards your chosen destination, the wind will change many times. Regardless of which direction the wind blows from and how strongly the wind blows, if you are a skilled sailor, you can adjust the set of the sail, the angle of the boat, and you need to tack and weave, but you can capture the force of good created by the change and use that to power you on your journey. Life is this way. We are each of us on a voyage through life towards our chosen destinations. The conditions of life will change many times along our journey. Sometimes they change suddenly, unexpectedly, dramatically, as with this year and COVID-19. Those changes are often outside of our control, but what is always within our control is that we can choose the set of our cell. And in life, the personal set of your cell is your outlook on life. It's the vision you hold of your future. It's your leadership qualities, the attitude that you bring to each day and greet the change. And it's the physical choices that you make in response to the changing conditions of life. And by choosing your outlook, by choosing your attitude, by choosing your actions, you're able to steer your own boat, to capture the opportunities created by change and move towards the direction of your desires. What is essential is that you know where you wish to go. The greater the change, the greater the opportunity, the more important it is to be clear about your goals. If you have strong goals, they are like beacons of light that you stay focused on and steer your course in fast changing times. But if you are unclear about where you wish to go or why it's important to you, then the wind of change becomes a storm that will drive you, and you'll find yourself washed up on some distant shore where you really didn't want to be, because you never clearly set the goal in the first place of where you do want to be. Here is a great way of setting goals. This is a goal map. A goal map is always created using words to stimulate the left side of the brain, the logical, conscious mind, and imagery to stimulate the right side of the brain, the creative brain that also has the connection to the subconscious mind. By using this special combination of words and pictures, we activate our whole brain. The words give us clarity about our goal. We can be precise and exact. We can quantify how much, how many, by what time. The imagery helps to activate the right brain, and through that command our subconscious, and our subconscious works like our own autopilot to move us towards our desired destinations. The system is so simple, yet so incredibly powerful. I've taught it to businesses large and small. On the screen you can see some of the more famous names like Microsoft, Siemens, Disney, Coca-Cola. Businesses of all types and all sizes supply goal mapping to help their employees achieve their targets and find the work they love to do. We have school children using the program. This is a group of Swedish school children. More than 1 million children from primary school, secondary school, university, across so many countries have created goal maps to aim for a brighter future and to increase their grades. Sports people use goal mapping. Katalin Konya, 3-time world champion kickboxer who lives in Denmark, uses goal mapping for a sport and also to empower young women to follow their dream. People are using goal mapping in health, well-being, financial freedom, every area of life. Even world-leading coaches such as Anthony Robbins endorse the technique and recommend it. It's been an incredible journey for me, teaching goal mapping to so many people. Now 5 million people around the world having reached goal mapping and created goal maps for their future. It's been an amazing experience for me, traveling around the world, sharing this incredible technique that is helping people change their lives. It has so helped me to change my life. I was born into a travelling funfair family. My ancestors for generations have been circus people, carnival people, and my father's funfair would travel around the south of England. I would have many different schools each year, different homes each year, not a lot of education. I actually dropped out of education at 13, which is sort of normal for the English funfair community of my age. Of course, I had no qualifications leaving school at 13, and I never learnt to read and write properly, mostly because of my dyslexia. I worked with my father to help him run the family entertainments business, and eventually we took that entertainments business to the seaside, to the Isle of Wight in the south of England. And we were quite successful. And I enjoyed a degree of success in the family business. But then at age 29, the tourist industry on the Isle of Wight really changed, and I found myself in a difficult situation. The business came to an end with a lot of debt. I was homeless because my home had been repossessed. My car and possessions were repossessed. My marriage ended under the pressure. I ended in £1 million of debt with no possessions, no home. I had no qualifications because of leaving school early and no formal work experience. I was also unable to read or write. Life was looking very dark. I really didn't know what I would do. I was incredibly scared, if I'm just very honest. The great thing that happened for me, and it's often darkest just before the dawn, is that I was offered an opportunity to join a network marketing company and to work with a direct sales team. And in joining those organisations, I was introduced to the science of positive thinking. The simple way that you can hold a positive thought and how that starts to create a positive feeling and leads you to take a better action. It became absolutely life-changing for me. Inside of your brain, we each have 100 billion brain cells. Each one of your 100 billion brain cells or neurons grows these arms and branches which are called dendrite. There is a slight gap that separates all of the arms and branches. It's known as the synaptic gap. When you have a thought, the thought starts as an electrical impulse in the heart of the brain cell. It travels out like in the dendrite arms. It wants to connect with another arm, but we have this gap in the middle. Here is the key point to understand. If the thought that you choose is positive, if you choose to hold a positive thought about yourself, your life, your future, your ability to build your Zinzino business, that positive impulse starts in the middle of the brain cell. It travels out along the arms and branches as an impulse, and it stimulates the release of a chemical into your brain called serotonin. Serotonin is the chemical that gives you the feeling of happiness and well-being. It's the same chemical that is released into your brain if you take an antidepressant drug, such as Prozac. If you train your brain by learning positive thinking strategies, you naturally release the serotonin. And as well as giving you a good feeling, serotonin is a neuroconductor. It bridges the synaptic gap. It joins the brain cells together. It allows your thought impulse to continue on its journey, and you build up this positive pattern of thought. It's what creates that new idea, that light bulb moment, when you get the joining of two or more brain cells. Now, at first, the brain cells break back apart again. And this is why it's so important to take your good ideas and to set them as goals. By setting a goal, we help maintain that positive brain cell connection. Every time you remind yourself of your goal, every time you tell yourself of your goal, every time you imagine yourself achieving your goal, you strengthen the brain cell connection, and gradually you grow belief. Belief in yourself and life is simply the established connection, positive connection, of two or more brain cells. The more connections we make, the more it helps to activate the whole of our brain. Both the right creative brain, having a good vision for the future with lots of creativity and new ideas, as well as in balance working with the left logical brain to form a strategy, follow a plan, and be effective in your actions. It's working with both sides of your brain in this way that really helps you to shape your own life and create your own reality. I believe it's absolutely essential with success in a business like Zinzino that you want to work with both a good vision for yourself and those that are in your team, as well as logically being able to be effective in your action and follow through with a plan. And if you're thinking positively about yourself and your life and your situation, then you will help make those brain cell connections. And if you think you can, you increase your chances, and you probably will. But if you think you can't, well, then you probably won't. Because when you think negatively about yourself, your life, your situation, the negative thought, whether it's about you as a person, a situation you're in, or your ability to build your Zinzino business, the negative thought again starts as an impulse in the middle of the brain cell. but it stimulates a different neuroreceptor, and it releases a different chemical into your brain and body, cortisol. And cortisol is the chemical that gives us the feeling of sadness and depression. It's a chemical messenger that is part of our fight or flight response. And when we're in fear, we release cortisol. It shuts down our digestion system and lymph system and immune system. And all the energy that's saved by shutting down the secondary systems is diverted to our muscles with adrenaline so we can fight or flight and survive the danger. And it worked incredibly well thousands of years ago when the danger was facing a wild animal. In modern life, with life's modern challenges, like increasing our income, we need a creative solution. We need to activate more of our brain to have those new ideas about how we can live a better life. The survival instinct that has served humankind for so long is actually counterproductive in modern life. And what's important is that we learn how to maintain positive brain cell connections. Because if we become negative, not only do we feel down, but cortisol is a neuroinhibitor. And as our brain closes down, the problem actually looks bigger and bigger and bigger. Learning to set goals helps us to maintain that positive brain cell connection. And every time we think about our goal, imagine achieving our goal, telling ourselves we're going to do it, we strengthen that brain cell connection and we build our belief really, really strong. It was in learning this that started to change my entire life. I used this simple positive thinking strategy to teach myself to read. And once I learned to read, it just felt so amazing. I wanted to know more and more about how the brain works and how the principles of personal development can help us transform our life. It was in doing all of my research around the very best way to set goals that one night I had the breakthrough and the visualization that is now goal mapping. And since that time in 1995 of sharing the goal mapping system around the world, it's just helped so many people in so many different ways. It's such a simple technique to use. By setting goals consciously with clear and precise words, setting your goal in the form of an affirmation, saying that you already have the goal now, and then creating the goal also in imagery helps to command your subconscious autopilot to move you towards the goal. Your subconscious is enormously powerful. The analogy we use for children is it's like a magical genie. It can do the most amazing things. It can help your wishes come true, but it cannot wish for you. You must command the genie. For all of the great power that your subconscious has, the one thing it cannot do is make choices for you. It cannot decide whether something is good for you or bad for you, right for you, wrong for you. It's almost mechanical. It follows the strongest thought in your conscious mind. Whatever you think about most often with the strongest feelings, your subconscious moves you towards that. And this is where sometimes some people meet a challenge because they start thinking about what they don't want. And the subconscious doesn't understand it and actually moves them more towards what they don't want. And this is how we go into self-sabotage. Many years ago in my workshop, I had a man who was a motorcycle riding instructor. And he was explaining to me that the big dangers for motorcyclists are all of the many holes in the road. And what they teach the motorcyclist is be aware of the hole, but do not stare at the hole. Because if you start staring at the hole, you actually move towards it. You steer towards the hole. Be aware of the hole, but stay focused on where you wish to go. This is a great life principle. We're each of us on a journey through life. There will be many holes that we need to avoid. And to avoid the hole, we need to be aware, but not stare. We need to stay focused on where we want to go, what we want to do, who we choose to be. How do you maintain that difficult balance of being aware of the negative, but stay focused on the positive? Do it every day, and do it in a simple way so it doesn't take up all of your time. Set goals. Maybe you've done a goal map with me before, and if so, it was probably drawn on paper, and maybe it was a goal map focused on you living your best life. My recommendation to you now, my encouragement to you, is to go to the online goal mapping and create a focus and Zeno business goal map. I'll be giving a free masterclass where I'll be doing a demonstration coaching of how you create a 1-year business goal map for your business in Zeno. I hope you join me for the masterclass as I guide you through the steps of creating your map with a main goal and side goals, and at the top of the map, your reasons why you want to achieve your goal, your sense of purpose and meaning. And then to get clear on the actions you need to take to move towards your goal and an action plan. I've even created a special area for Zeno where you can access the software for free and see the video of me guiding you through the creation of your goal map to achieve your greatest Zeno dreams. If you think your best thoughts, you will trigger the serotonin release that helps you to feel your best feelings. They will empower you to take your best actions, and you will live your best life. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the masterclass.